All right, what's going on, every? And we're getting ready to kick off this. We got a question for you. We're gonna stick with it. We're gonna be here for about an hour. We're also gonna have a co-host, Brian, and this is Love Factual. Okay, so question is, should you significant other on social media? That is the question, and then we've got some other questions to go along with it, because this seems to be one of those topics that came up quite recently, and so I figured I'd take a stab at it and hear what you have got to say. Okay, but like I said, we've got a co-host that should be coming in here shortly. All right, but we're gonna kick things off. That's the question. What do you think? I need you to post your comments and let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what you're thinking concerning that question. Should you or should you not post your photos, not questions, post your photos of your significant other on social media? Because I've got a few views concerning that. And let me go to what my first thought is on that one. And okay, so here's another question along with that. Should you post? And then the question is, why should you not post? Why should you not, if anything, why should you not post photos of your significant on social media? Why should you not post? Now, one of the things is that people really and truly need to mind the people in your business, and that's when you get a lot of questions and you get a lot of comments and what's going on in your life. And some people are private. What a relationship privacy? Should you tell the whole world that I got this going on? The whole world that I'm seeing this person or I'm in a relationship with this person. That's my question, because I have, like I said, a few to go along with that main question. Should you post? I want you to chime because the thought that goes along with that. Some people, like I said, like to keep their stuff private, and this. All right, so let me check the comments out. Okay. Now, here's the thing. There are men, and not just the women, but there's some women and also some men who feel like you should post my photo on social media to tell the world. Okay, so for the men, tell all these other men who are looking at you or potentially want to talk to you or approach you that, hey, you're taken. Okay, so all the foxes that are looking for the grape, basically you tell them foxes to stay away, and vice versa. Some of the men feel the same way too, you know. So the woman's gonna post the photographs to tell the other man that, listen, you know what, I'm taken, and the man gonna post the photographs to tell those women, I'm taken. So you see what I'm saying? So it's always that mentality that I gotta tell people that I'm taken. I'm with this person right here because I want the world to see. I want everybody to know this is what's happening. So what do you think? Because there's some people, like I said, are private. They don't even do social media. And should you have to tell the world what you got going on? Should you? So, but the thing is it just for show? Is it just to let people know what you got? Can't you just keep it private to yourself and don't have to tell anybody anything? Any comments? Any comments? Let's see what we got. I know I've got 4 people in there right now. There was more, but I got 4 people in right now. So I want to know, do we have any comments? not um going been able to, but hey, you know how it is when you deal with technology, things happen. So again, what do you think? What are you guys thinking? What's the thought process going on with you right now? Should you post? Should you not post? And what are your thoughts? You know, should you hide what's happening in your life? Should you keep your significant other off of social media? I think that you need to keep people out of your business. Because one of the things that happens when you post, when people don't know, right? And then you post a photograph of you and whoever the person is, then you get a lot of texts. Now people want to know what's happening. Did you get married? Who's he? Who is she? When did you start dating? Where's she from? Where is he from? All this other stuff. But you invited that. Once you post on social media, that's the invitation for people to come into your life. And that's the invitation for people to ask questions. So, do you really want that? Or like I said before, are you posting because you want people to know he or she is taken? Come on, folks. I want you to engage with me. And hey, what's your thought? What's your thought? Type me a comment, type me your question, and let's do this. Okay, you must have a thought. Until we get our co-host in here, like I said, let's see what we got. Okay, so right. So Lady Sarcy from the Philippines, Lady Sarcy says, I will not post because okay. All right. I will not post until it becomes permanent. Now that's a good thought. I don't want my friends and family to be watching his business or stalking him. And that's another thing too. That's another thing. Now everybody gonna be minding your business, checking things out to see what's happening. All right. Derek MacArthur said, for some it seems to be for show. Keeping the world in their business. For some, at a certain point, they are sharing what God has brought into their lives. Right. That's another way of looking at it. And he said on the flip side, some allow social media to dictate their lives and live for the approval. All right, now live for the approval of the public and for public opinion. Okay. Yeah. Some even look at social media before even seeking guidance from God. Lord have mercy. And they get the phones in their hand, Instagram, TikTok, Reel, all that stuff. And so, yeah, they post everything. To put it this way, they go into the bathroom and they don't put it on there. Okay, Lady Sarcy says, I'm a very private person and must protect his privacy. I applaud that one. I absolutely applaud that one. Okay. And it's, listen, if you want to build something, you keep people out. If you want to build something, you keep people out. If you don't keep people out and they get all up in your business, sometimes all hell break loose. Cat Lady says it's not necessary. Hey, Cat, how you doing? It's not necessary. Those that show know. Wait. Okay, those that should know will know. Not everyone on social media needs to know. And that's absolutely true. The people are closest to you, your family, your close friends. Yeah, absolutely. The world don't need to know what's happening. And another thing, here's an issue. Not everybody's happy for you. Some people will pray against you. They will try to pray against your blessing. Oh yeah. You've got people looking at you, they're watching you. Some people want they're kind of sizing you up. And so when you show somebody, they get irate. They get angry. So not everybody is for you, not everybody's gonna be happy for you. Everybody needs to know what's happening. And I just, it's funny how this whole topic has been going around all this week. Different people come to me, and we just end up talking about this. And this one wants her on her Facebook page. So I said to him, the fact that he wants that you just these men that are looking at you to back off. I hit the nail right on the head. I was absolutely right about that one. Vultures. These people are sizing you up, checking you out, and they want to know what's going on. And so when you post, it kind of tells them back off. You know what I'm saying? Back off. So yeah. So that's the deal. And let me see if we could come up. What are the other thoughts that you've got? What are the other thoughts that you've got? Because I think we can go in so many different little areas with that. All right. So let me ask. Here's a question. Here's a question. Backlash for not posting photos. Because some people, yeah, you're in a relationship with, whether you're a spouse or girlfriend, fiance, whatever the deal is. Here's the other angle. They get mad, they get angry at you for not putting their photo on there. They say, what are you hiding? Are you cheating? Who are you talking to? Me. You see what I'm saying? So some people are insecure in that sense that if you're not posting something, I'm not good enough for you to post my photo on. Are you ashamed of me? So this question could go, there's absolutely things that can come up. So where that's concerned, all these angles can emerge from a simple, innocent touch where you just decide not to post. And here's all these questions, and not only question, but why are you not putting my photo on there? What are you hiding? See? So let's check the comment out. All right. So it says all that might actually be someone's position, good or bad. Yes, sir. And it's crazy when you've got people who are insecure in that way, and they just feel like you have got to make them feel better by posting their photograph or a photograph of both of you together on social media. If not, yeah, it's just crazy, because I feel like if I've got to go to that length, then she got a problem. There's got to be issues. I'm sorry. That's insecurity, absolute insecurity. And if you're dealing with a person like that, I'm telling you, you're going to go through a lot of grief. Watch this. And maybe I'm stretching it a bit. Maybe I'm stretching it a bit. I'm still trying to see if my co-host can get in here, but maybe I'm stretching it a bit. Okay, but like I said, you posting tells the world, okay, we're cool. This is the one, right? You're not posting, may or may not, depending on the person. The person might be okay with it. Again, the person may not be okay with it. Then you got issues, major problems. Right, a person like that, watch this now. I want you to follow me. A person like that might even go to your social media, to your page, go through all your contacts to see who you've got as friends. And when you post stuff, they check to see who responds to whatever you post. But females like if it's me, I want to see what females respond to the things that I post. I don't have no time for nothing. If I've got to run that, check who they're talking to, who their friends are. Nah, it don't. Not good. Absolutely not. Come on, we got a few people in there. We got people came in and went out, but come on, chime in. Let's see what's. Well, you agree? Give me your. Sometimes it depends on the level. Nowadays, you cannot tell if you are the only person he or she is dating. Woo, Lord have mercy, and that's so true. You've got women who want to have 2, 3. They've got some women who are missing and do in what you call it, in paternity court. When you see these women go to paternity court, right, and then they got to bring 2 or 3 men because they don't know who the father is. That's some serious stuff. That's some crazy stuff. Because you were cheating, or you were talking, you were sleeping with several men at the same time. That's why you don't even know who the father is. Okay, so that's a valid point, Lady Sarcy. That's a valid point. That nowadays you can't tell. People are so dishonest that you've got to be careful. It's funny. Somebody said to me yesterday that people don't even think about age anymore. And I said, you know what? You're right. I haven't even heard anything about age in a long time. There was a time that every time, wherever you turn, they were talking about AIDS. The AIDS epidemic. AIDS is still out there. It's they don't talk about the regular STDs. And AIDS is still out there. And people are not even thinking that you got men who are sleeping. You got male and female. That's another thing. Now people are not protecting themselves. They just like I said, they forgot about AIDS, and so they do whatever they want. But yeah, there's social media things because, like I said, some people get irate. They get mad. Absolutely mad if you don't post a photograph to the world. She's with me, he's with me, that type of stuff. So yeah, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Yeah, like I said, I hope, but it seems something that went wrong. I'm not really sure. Let's see here. But it would have been good to have another voice. It would have been having a voice in here. In the meantime, I'm gonna try something. See if I get my still get my co-host for a minute. Right. So yeah, anybody that's got a thought, a question, anything like that, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk. Let's talk. As a matter of fact, too, I've got another for next week. Next week, I've got another topic, and I'm gonna let you know what that topic is right now. Okay, so you'll be back. Let me see if right. Okay, so here's the question now. Why do women fight other women over men? So the man is cheating, right? And now we're not going to start the discussion, but I just want to say something. The man is cheating. She finds out that he's cheating. Instead of dealing with the man, you go find the other woman and fight her. What kind of foolishness is that? That's what I want to know. And that's all I'm going to say. That's for next week, right? So, you know, ahead of time, so you can kind of think about it. And yeah, that's the thing. Let's get some comments. Let's get some comments. We want to get this thing. Yeah, I'll check my co-host in here. But we can stretch this thing. Talk about every relationship, everything to do with relationship. That's what we try to talk about. You know, yeah. So, what's your thought? What's your thought? Unfortunately, let's see how many people we got. Let's see. All right, everybody. Lady Sarcy says, I'm excited. Unfortunately, isn't here. So, hey, I've been trying this. But yeah, it unfortunately it just didn't work out. So that's it. That's the discussion tonight. Anybody got anything else to say? Hey, Kat, are you still there? What? Experiences with you know, you're right. You're absolutely right. I love that. I love that. Like you said, whatever you post, whether you post or not, cheaters are going to cheat. They're going to find a way. You know, but that's the thing. You know, for some reason, some people don't think that they're going to find a way around it, because when a man or a woman wants to cheat, they are going to cheat. Come hell or high water, they're going to find a way. You know what? That's funny. You said that. A young lady said to me one time, she said, the reason why men don't get away with cheating is because they tell on themselves. So I said, so what do you mean by that? She said, listen, I'm going to tell you something. She said, women know how to cheat and not get caught. Now that's some serious stuff. Because I always say a lot of times, I'm not going to say that women cheat as much as men do, but I do know that it seems like they get away with it more times than not. He's always asking myself, how in the world do they do it and get away with it? But I've actually heard some women talk about some stuff. Talk about wearing one outfit to a girlfriend's house, changing at the girlfriend's house, and going wherever, and telling the man, well, that she's with that girlfriend. So when he calls that girlfriend, she can back it up. But she said, here's what the men do. They said, oh yeah, I'm with my boy, whatever. But he didn't tell him what was going down. So when she calls the homeboy don't know nothing that he's talking about. You see what I'm saying? That's how he get caught. Because instead of telling the homeboy, hey, listen, this is what's happening by my mom. If she call, back me up. They don't do that. They just think that, well, she ain't gonna call because I said I'm with my boys. Not knowing that she is gonna call, and then you get caught out there because guess what? He can't corroborate nothing that was said. So yeah, that's crazy. But you're right, Kat. People are gonna cheat whether they no matter what you do. If that's what they want to do, okay, what you do, they want to cheat and find a way. So thanks. And you're right. Like you said, that's too much work. And I agree with that 100%. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for babysitting. I'm babysitting. I'm not doing it. I'm absolutely not doing it. So, yeah. Let's see. Let me see. Anybody else in here in the meantime? Yeah. Any Starsy. You want but yeah, for real, where to be mature. And here's the thing. It's immaturity that causes immaturity. It's like, it's to teenage years when you go to school in high school and stuff, and you got a little boyfriend up, and you're ducking and hiding, and you want them to show you off to the world and the whole night. And then you get mad if they don't put your photo up, or you get please. Anybody else? Anything else? Like I said, I was hoping that we had a whole lot of people in here topic with the comments and the questions and all the other stuff. But we're gonna get there. All right. Anything else? It's about 20 minutes. 28 minutes. We could stretch it some more. We could go all the way down to 9 o'clock. But if there's really, if the discussion has been exhausted, or any questions, any question on, I put it this way, any questions on any topic right about now. Now you got an open floor. Any question on any topic now, it's a good time. Like I said, any questions on any topic, and I take a stab. If you don't have anything else to say on this topic, we go ahead and try something else. Co-host would have been co-host in there, but seems that whatever reason he can't. Any question, anything to do with relationships, we could take a stab at it. All right. Okay. Might be able to get my co-host in there. Right. So all right. I tell my co-host, try it again, and let me see what's happening. But any questions we got? Anybody? Oh, seems like we got. All right.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Ooh. All right. This is Dirk MacArthur. Welcome. Are you hearing us?
Yeah, I hear
I
you.
got a question. All right.
The video's a little draggy.
Okay. You know, everything seems fine, but yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like I said, when I started first, I noticed that it was a
delay
bit
also.
slow.
Delay also.
There's a delay. People pretend to commit person if they still want to date others? Man, that's an awesome question. Again, I would use immaturity for that answer right there. Yeah, when men are immature, the crazy stuff. This children did, but whenever things. Now they just say the same thing for women. Unfortunately, some people don't never grow up, so they'll never put away childish things. And a conversation with a young man who said he wants to have fun and party and hang out with women. He said he liked to party and hang out with 4 or 5 women at the same time. I said to him, you're getting older. You need to think about later on in life. If you continue to do what you're doing now and you don't have anyone, you may not have anyone. Think about that. The world is gone. You might get older and find that you are by yourself. And so when you see something, you see older folk by themselves, you see them out in the street, or you see them in a nursing home, and you wonder, where's the family? And you find out they have absolutely nobody. Sometimes you have to wonder what happened in their life. Why is it they by themselves, they're all alone? They don't have anyone. This is a type of mindset where people need to grow up. Go ahead.
All that stuff comes back. The Bible says you reap what you sow. So if this is what you're sowing, how you're living, and how you're treating other people, you can't expect for you to escape and that not come back to you. So if you're putting that out in some form or some fashion, it's going to catch up with you.
Absolutely. And that's why we have to grow up. It comes a point in a man or woman's life. Let's talk about the men for a minute. It comes a point in a man's life when he has to realize that life just quote unquote and drinking and getting drunk and just going to this party and that party and going to this concert. Listen, you got to grow up at some point, and life ends. It doesn't last forever. And unfortunately, some people just don't think about the future. They only think about now, today. And that's a bad thing.
Speaking of that, talking about things as a future, when you talking about if you claiming that you're committed into a relationship, the one if your commitment is to that relationship, number one, it takes work. Towards that relationship and communication with your partner. And if you're social media, your relationship or what have you, or all of these games, show might make because I don't want someone to think that I'm attached, playing the field. But the bottom line is going back to if you're committing to building a relationship, you're looking for a relationship with someone, you need to keep it off of social media, out of people's lives, because the dangerous thing with social media today is some people live for social media approval, for the affirmation, and if they don't get that, they get depressed. social media can breed depression because you're looking for it's kind of like the virtue or a false life that's not real. It's not real affirmations. People do and say things behind the computer, but not necessarily mean these things. So what kind of approval are you seeking? Then that shows that there's something inside that needs to be worked on. Building up yourself, your self-confidence of who you are, learning who you are. Number one, who you are. What do you have to contribute to this life? And the type of mate that you're looking to build your life with. These are the pertinent questions that we should be addressing in the conversations, having with one another, and not they are, etc.
Okay, yeah, because your audio just got choppy. But you're right. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. People they don't grow up to realize what's important. And they hit that ball later on in life. They realize there's nobody there. Listen, if when you're young and you are muscular and and you don't have arthritis, you don't have a high blood pressure, you don't have none of that stuff, and you can run the field, you feel like that you can run the field forever. And then if you keep doing that, the field is going to stick around. Nobody's going to stick around. So, just like Kat said, why do people pretend to commit to one to date others? Which don't make no sense. That means they're not serious about marriage. They're not ready to settle down. They don't want to settle down. But here's the thing. All right, good for you, bro. The thing is, they want to have the milk without the cow. That's what it is. So if they could have several that they don't have the and that's out of it right there. So have you tried posting photos of your girlfriend in your social media? What is for? Is that question for me? Or there's something going on with the audio on your end. It was choppy for a minute. But I guess that comment was for you, Derek. But on a serious note, though, man, we have to look down the road and realize that life is short, and also realize that God ordained marriage for a reason, for a purpose. In the Bible, He had said, man shouldn't be alone. And I don't know why we try to be lone rangers. I know very well, God never designed it for us to be by ourselves. Nobody for us to have multiple women and think that it's okay. Marriage was ordained by God. But because you got so many divorces, most of the divorces, and women are getting disgruntled. They're not happy. They're not pleased with what's happening. So they use it as an excuse. They use it so that they don't have to commit. I don't need a piece of paper. About paper. And committing to that one person is everybody else around to know that I'm exclusive with this person. That's my wife. That's my husband. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do, and no one will. They got a ring gives them away. They want to play the first. They don't want other women to see a ring. They see that ring, then it's no problem. You see what I'm saying? So I don't wear jewelry. Yeah, right. There are excuses, man. Men use a lot of excuses to try to get away with that kind of stuff. You know, I don't wear jewelry. You know, yeah. Anytime I hear a man say that, I say, I know. You know, so yeah.
And some people have what I call the syndrome of missing out on something. You know, so if you feel like you're missing out on something, you're trying to get all that you think you're missing out on something. You're trying to get all that you think you're missing. And what I say to that is basically, you don't know who you are. Number one, or maybe you do. Number one. But once you know who you are, as a person, then you know the type of mate that you need beside you. And bring it in general, bring it down like some people date just to date. But myself coming from a Christian Judeo background, we don't date just to date. You date because you have the intention of looking for a wife. So if I'm looking for a wife, and I know who I am as Christian, then I should know the type of woman that I need beside me. So the process of dating would be the preliminary of me getting to know you and who you are. And I would know whether that's a green light or a red light, or whether I should go further.
Yeah, you know, the issue is one of the problems that we have is because we've gotten away from traditional value. It has made dating even much harder because now you don't know what to expect from these women. As a man, you don't know what to expect from them, and vice versa, because we've gotten away totally from tradition. So one of the things that they think that it's okay for you to have a woman and sleep with when and not married to. It's normal. Everybody's doing it. And just like you said, coming from a Christian to their background, we know that that's forbidden in the Bible. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to marry first before you have children. And they sleep in with all these women, and then you got one man that got 2, 3, 4 baby moms. What does that do? It takes the woman off the market, basically, in a sense. And a lot of men, you got all these kids or whatever. You know, some men don't want to come into a situation where a woman already have kids with somebody else. Take somebody else's child. So you see all the problems that we end up with in that type of situation. In a modern society, a lot of people see those what those actions actually do. But those actions are causing a reaction in the society. That's why we have so many illegitimate. Like I said, a lot of men will not marry a woman that already have kids. So that is creating a problem more and more. And like I said earlier, the flip side or the other problem that we do find that we're having is that women are filing so many divorces nowadays that men are like, I ain't going through that. If I got to go through that, I'm not doing it. True. So. True. Yeah. It's difficult, and to get people to understand there's certain values you have to have, and she should have. And when you come together as I'm building, there should be respect and love. Those are the two things that you need to have. He respects her, and so that he can love her. She respects him, so that he can love her. But when she doesn't respect him, it's not going to build. You're going to have issues. Because if she's going to call him out of his name, and every time she gets angry, she's saying certain things, I'm sorry, but that man will not develop the kind of love that a man needs for a woman. He will sleep with you, but he ain't going to respect you. He ain't going to. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be the man's piece. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people say, man, why you always talking about the women? Because that's what's happening. And in my videos, I talk about the passport bros. That's why a lot of these guys are getting passport and leaving. go to the Philippines, Thailand, and wherever. They're trying to find a opportunity that can cooperate with them, that they can deal with, that they can talk to. You know, they're not gonna give them all this attitude, and that's what's happening. You know, they end up with a whole lot of attitude, man. These guys are, you know, they're getting tired, they're getting fed up, and they're like, nah, I don't want to do that no more. You know, and the women think that you're supposed to deal with it. And so a lot of them getting mad because men are leaving and say, no, I ain't putting up with that. I ain't dealing with that no more. And then they start talking all kind of foolishness. Say, women speak English, women who, you know, just like crazy. You know, yeah, they do. Yeah, they approach it differently. You know,
one of the dangers of social media today is that many base their lives on it, and they take it as truth, not realizing that a good portion of what you see on social media is Hollywood. It's fake. You know, people aren't really showing the reality. So people are viewing social media to, oh, I want to be like this, or I want my life to be like this, or I want my life action after this way or this image. We're allowing images to dictate our lives. We're allowing false views to dictate our lives, and then you wonder why the problems that we have, because social media has a major influence on people's lives, and some people unfortunately live for this. You know, they go to sleep, get up, social media, let the world know what you're doing. This is what you're doing. So what the world doesn't see, the preparation that you had to do before you put that camera on, or you took those pictures. The reality of the matter. So this is a problem.
You're right about that. There's I think it's a former basketball player. His name is Gilbert Arenas, and you know he's on YouTube and stuff. I think he had a couple of channels or whatever. And he was on live with this girl called Melly, and so in the chat, the people were saying, man, Gil is a player. He childish. You know, he's not serious and stuff. And he said, you really think that this is the way I am? You know, I'm just doing this for the show. You know, and he said people who know me know that this is not the way I am. I'm like, So you're right. They put on for social media because they want to get the views and they want to get the hype. So they put on and act a certain way. And that's the problem that we have, you know. And maybe I hate to say, but maybe that's why this channel hasn't grown the way that I would love for it to grow, because you got a lot of people out there who are faking it and they're just putting on they're out there for entertainment. They're not out there for serious stuff. Let me tell you what I want. I want to be able, all right, let's see. I want to be able to, okay, so Cha said something. I'm sorry, but I didn't see that, but she just said it just now. So Cha said, when both are solid and a common connection, understanding about social media etiquette for couples to minimize drama and well, let's deal with that statement, because personally I think that, you know, like we said before, social media etiquette is that you don't post personal stuff on social media, right? I think it's best if people leave their private and don't post, you know. And I know I do post stuff sometimes. Yeah, I do some stuff sometimes, but you know, it's not every day. I do post every day is like an upliftment or statement, you know, an encouraging word to someone on a daily basis, but not every day. You know, trying to encourage people to really remember it's a brand new day, and to give God some praise. So yeah. And like she's talking about for couples to minimize, and I just think that just leave it off of there. It's best to leave it off of there. I figure if it's a husband and a wife,
I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a private person myself as well. Even though a portion of my life is in the public, in terms of with ministry. As far as social media, for me, lies a beacon to maybe bring inspiration, encouragement, share the word, sometimes prayer. But my personal life, you will not see highlighted on social media because my personal life is just that, personal. I may highlight certain events that I choose to, maybe birthday or something I want to post, or within my son something, but you will never see the dialogue, but not for me. You will never see me dialoguing my personal life on social media. That's dangerous. What is social media? I don't see that. What is that?
Yeah, Kat said something. Look, and I agree 100% with that. If you see a happy couple on Facebook, you have to realize that relationships, and only those that are willing to work through Jesus will last. Yeah, and that's 100. That is absolutely 100. Yeah, and like I was saying, if you're married, so you're dealing with your spouse now, and you post photos of you and your spouse, that's fine. If you're in a dating situation, I think leave it off of there. You understand?
Exactly.
Like there was a comment that was made earlier. Wait until it is permanent.
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes permanent, then there should be no problem. You should be at the point in your relationship that you don't have to be worrying about this other person cheating or out there talking to someone else. Now, I'm not going to say it don't happen. It do happen. Unfortunately, it do happen. You end up in that kind of situation where they're married, but their spouse is still running the street.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because sometimes, like I said earlier, you find out the hard way because she got pregnant and you think it is yours, and get to find out it ain't even yours.
Mm.
You know. So,
and when dealing with this social media, you have a thing that they call voyeurism. Some people may understand that, or they may not understand that this is what they're getting into. Where you have a love or there's like a high or it's like ecstatic. Just the fact of sharing myself with everyone, whether I have through camera or pictures of myself, and it's almost like I dare to say a form of idolatry. You know, because you're putting yourself up as a god, small g, to be adored, to be worshipped, with all the constant selfies. Who is sitting up on the throne of your heart or your life? Basically, who are you uplifting? It's all about you. And you're showcasing this. And some people showcase it like they literally live online. It's like they love voyeurism. They love for people to watch, and they love to watch others.
Yeah. Now watch this. Kat asked a question. What is in this society today? And you're right, because I'm glad you asked that question. I think it was last week. I was man came on and he said, I'm getting a divorce. And the other person said, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, after being married for 30 years. So you're right. What's permanent in this society today? Nothing. The only thing that's permanent is death. It's permanent. But that's it. Because you after 30 years of marriage, somebody's filing divorce. Yes. That's some crazy stuff. You know, it don't make sense. I think we have gotten away from what's important. We have away from traditional values. We all know that. And here's the issue. My biggest issue, and I talk about it all the time, it is so bad that you can't even, not even in the church, can you build relationships. Because it's like nobody knows how to build a relationship. No one knows what's required of them, what they should and shouldn't be doing.
So and again, it goes back to not knowing who you are, living your life based on feelings. Some people's excuse for divorce is because I love the person, but I'm no longer in love with the person. Is that really a reason for divorce? That feeling of in love is something that's cultivated, that takes work. Now, love is not a feeling. It may spur feelings, but love is not a feeling. When we look at what love is, in love part, that's the feeling part. Now that's the work. Today, no one wants to do the work for that. That's the romance part. When you get into a relationship, when you get into marriage, the work that you took to build that must continue. But when that work stops, yes, you will no longer feel that loving feeling all the time. Commitment to one another.
That song, I'm not going to sing the song, but go ahead.
Like partner. Mm-hmm.
And you're right. I think the song says, you've lost that loving feeling. That's the thing. People want to build their relationships on feelings, and I keep telling people that's emotions. Can't build just on emotions, because I said, one day I'm in love. Then the next day you say, I'm not in love anymore. So that's on your feelings, your emotions. It's feeling. You can't build on feeling, because feelings are going to change. And that's why I keep saying I don't believe in being in love. I believe in growing in love. I'm not going to say I don't believe in being in love. I don't believe in falling in love. I believe in growing in love. That's the difference. Because when you fall, you're going to hurt yourself. You shouldn't fall. Mm-hmm. This thing, you're supposed to have control of yourself and be able to think coherently about this decision that you're about to make. You understand? So when you look at everything, your line is pushed up, and you said, now this person fits everything that I'm looking for. So as a man looking for a woman, so you're saying, okay, she fits all of that. I'm in a position now. I feel like I should place my affections on her. There's a time in New York, Bishop Caesar, Senior used to say, you set your affections on a person, and that's where I'm at. That's what I believe in. You set you don't fall in love. You set your affections. So be careful who we set our affections on. Because all that is gold. I can tell you.
And also when you interview older couples or elderly couples that have been married for decades, pretty much more than half their lives, when you ask them these questions, they'll tell you they don't always feel in love. They'll tell you sometimes I can't stand them. But what keeps them together is the love, because they have love. Love is unconditional. Love is long-suffering. Love is patient. When you love a person, and the reality of the matter is that today most people do not know what true love is, but yet you're looking for something that you don't know what it is. So if you don't know what it is, how could you possibly give it? It's like, if you don't know what love is, how could you give love? Today we base it on conditions. I'll love you if. I'll love you only if. So that means there's a condition. So if there's a condition, that's not love, because love is unconditional. That means I love you no matter what, through the good the bad, the ugly. It's like what we call a ride or die. You there till the end with this person, come what may, to stand together, to build a life together. That's love. Not a condition. Well, if certain conditions are there, then I'm out. And relationships aren't easy. It takes work. It takes work building your relationships. It takes work growing relationships, because naturally, as humans, we're going to grow apart. So the work part becomes when you come together, make it up our mind to commit to each other, to say, hey, no matter what, come hell, come high water, we're going to build this together. We're going to stick together. We're going to build. We're going to grow together. That takes work. It takes work to grow together. But when we want something to be instantaneously or microwaves, to say, like sometimes we have a microwave mentality, it doesn't happen that way. If we don't work at it, naturally we will grow apart. Relationships takes work, and unfortunately, most people today, they want something instantaneously. If it's not exactly what I want, 100% I don't want it. Not realizing it's going to take some work on both parts. It's give and take on both parts to build it. And that's the part, the issues that we have today. No one wants to work. They got to be instant, and then as soon as there's a hiccup or there's a problem, they're out the door, or ready to file a divorce, instead of sticking there and working and building your relationship. And then the end result of the work is a quality relationship. When you talk to some of those who have been married for decades, and they talk to the man, it's like you see the love, you see things on the surface, but you don't realize when you start talking to them, you see the things that have been going on in the background. They tell you it has not been easy. It takes work. They would tell you. That's why it's always good for the younger to talk with the older, and the older to talk with the younger. There's things that the older have to pass down. There's wisdoms that come from our elders, and at the same time, we can learn from each other. The older can learn from the younger. But I think that bridge we have lost. We've lost that bridge of bridging the generations, the wisdom passed down from the elders, because there's some things that those of us that are younger need to learn from our elders. Some wisdoms and some knowledge, instructions as young men, going into relationship, going into marriage, because the road is not easy, but when you have grace with certain wisdoms and knowledge and you gain the wisdom from learning from others' experience. And again, it goes back to knowing who you are, because if you don't know who you are, I don't think you're gonna know which way you're going or where you need to go. And if you get with someone that doesn't know who they are, that spells a recipe for trouble. Because number one, if I don't know who I am and I get married to you, and then in the midst of the marriage, I find myself who I am, but who I am may not be cohesive with who you are. And then there may be the constant friction. So now we're in this commitment and going in opposite directions. So that's why it's so important to, before you enter in, because the Bible tells you, don't enter into this thing lightly. So before you enter in, know who you are. Speaking from a Christian standpoint, as a Christian, know who you are in God first. Find out who you are. And then at that point, you would know the type of wife you need in your life. And without that, it's just a recipe for disaster. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm back, man. Something crazy happened a few minutes ago. My computer froze. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm telling you, because it's getting good. You know what I'm saying? It's getting good. You said something, and I almost got happy, and I was going to run around the room for a minute. But yeah, man, I love the discussion. I love what you're saying. Relationships take work. They really do. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, sometimes we're not willing to put the work in.
And that's the sad part.
Yeah, we're not willing to put the work in. And so with that,
that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Because remember, there's a time you
I don't know what else you got. If you want to discuss something else,
you prided yourself on your work. the hard work of putting into building something, but today, we don't want to work. We don't want to build something. We want everything handed to us. It's a entitled atmosphere. I'm entitled to this, so I want it this way, but I don't want to work for it. So if it's not this way, and I'm out. So okay, when you work hard building this relationship, then that means when things come up against your relationship, or when people come up against your relationship, then that means when those are the storms when that work is going to cause you to stand. Those are the storms because you know that you worked hard in this relationship, and what you two put into building this relationship is what helps to keep you. Of course, first God is the one that's going to keep you, but and apart from that, the work that you put in, it takes work. Apart from that, the work that you put in, it takes work. God ain't gonna do everything for us.
It do take.
It ain't like He waving a magic wand.
No.
It ain't like He waving a magic wand.
No. It's just strange that lately we see what's your name? Let me turn my mic down a little bit. Yeah, lately we see Tyrese and his ex-wife in that saga that they got going on back and forth, and she said. She was talking about, it's funny how she was talking about 1 Corinthians 13, that type of love. And I'm like, wow. So she's talking about that, but at the same time, you can't build your relationship. You can't stay in your marriage. You can't make it work. But I guess maybe one was doing the work and the other one wasn't. That's basically what she was saying, and she made it seem like she was doing all the work, but he wasn't. But he was saying that he's willing to fight for his relationship, for his marriage. Look, we when we go in, we gotta have the same. Let me be radical on this right here. When a man finds a woman, he has to find a woman that is willing to sign up to his agenda. Because the Bible says that a woman's supposed to be a man's helpmate. It's not the other way around. But a lot of times the women feel like you are supposed to be their helpmate. You're supposed to be signed up to their agenda. When a man comes into a situation, a relationship with a woman and signs up to her agenda, 99.9% of the time he's going to have problems. And that's why he's got to get he must have his stuff together. He's got to be ready for a relationship, ready to be able to take care of his wife and his family, ready to lead. Not to dictate, but to lead. And a lot of women are afraid some sort of technical issue. But yeah, women are afraid of that situation when you come into a relationship where a man is not ready to lead. So what are you going to do? And that's the problem. That's one of the problems.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
And then a woman said, well, why should I submit to a man who is not ready to lead?
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole nother live stream right there. So, but if we don't have anything else, and we seem to be having some sort of technical hiccup.
There's a major issue when you think about today, which I'm for. Think about today, each one building themselves and coming to who they are and building their careers. But sometimes trying to find that balance, especially when we talk about for example, independent woman. The independent woman, I think it's great. You finding who you are, you're building your career. But now when you're coming into marriage, an independent woman coming into marriage, you're now coming one with your husband. So you're supposed to be working together. But there seems to be an issue with independent women in marriage.
God never created women to be independent of men.
Because when you're married, you're no longer independent. You're two of you are as one. You're no longer separate individuals. You're working together as one unit. So that causes a whole nother rift, a whole nother series.
Yeah, that's a whole. That, like I said, we're gonna have to probably pick up on that one in about another week. We keep those thoughts in mind and let me know, man, so we can put that down, and we could probably have a live stream on that right there. That topic, because we really need to. You understand? Because I want people to realize that what's happening in society today is not working. And we look around and we see how relationships are going. They are not working. Even marriages are not working. We are missing something, but people are not willing to go back to the drawing board and realize that the way how this society is going, they have been fed something that's wrong. The bag of goods that they got was totally false. And I don't mind saying that when the feminists came on the scene, they messed everybody's heads up to the point where the women have bought the goods, and now they realize, oh, I don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no man gonna tell me what to do. You hear all them things. You know what I'm saying? And they don't realize that God created woman for man, not man for woman. But the women don't want to work with the men. They want to do their own thing. You understand? And from jump, we saw what happened. Well, anyway, listen, I don't want to preach, but from jump, we saw what happened with Adam and Eve. Eve came and took over and said, don't worry about that. I got you. Let's go get this fruit. I'll give you some. I'm laughing, but that's just how it seems that things went. And we got sidetracked, and women are still, the same stuff is still happening today. And we don't seem to know how to fix it.
Well, see, you used to hear back in there sometimes the older women, they would tell the younger women, check with your man first. Check before you start hearing what your girlfriend and this one and that one is saying. Check with your man first. Now, if we take it back to Adam and Eve, the serpent was very split. And how he spoke with Eve. Now, if Eve was checking with her man first, she might not have went against what God has said. She went against what God has said, which her husband had changed her what God has said. And she listened to what the serpent had said, but had she checked with her man first, they would have had dialogue, and they would have realized, what, that's going to take us out of the will of God.
Let me say this. That's where the independent woman started, right there. That's where the independent woman started, right there. Because I believe she was told what she was supposed to do. And she said, don't worry, I got this. I'm going to do it my way. Okay? And everything, and Humpty Dumpty came crashing down. Basically, everything went from being good to now we're in trouble. And you're right, because today it's the same thing. A lot of women say, well, I work for my own money. I make my own money. Ain't nobody going to want you this. So guess what? What am I checking with him for? I'm a grown woman. I make my own decisions. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. And that's what they're doing. And that's causing a problem. You understand? Because a lot of women will not submit to their husband's authority. They won't say, you know what, hon, this is is that. Is it okay? Can I do this? Is it okay with you if I do that? No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. And until that mentality changes, relationships in this modern society won't work. And the more marriages that we see, the more divorces we're going to see, because that's the mentality right there. Like I said, they've been fed a bag of goods that were rotten. One of the things, they don't want to submit to their man, to their husband, not even to their man, to their husbands. The man you're married to. The man is supposed to be your covering. You don't want to submit to him. So guess what? It ain't going to work. Either you going to leave or he going to leave. But somebody going to leave. After a while, they're not going to put up with it no more. They're going to I had enough of this. I got to go. Then they're going to go elsewhere to find a woman that will submit to him. And we're talking about a good man. We're not talking about men who are cheating.
In general, when you're talking about the disrespect of a man and his position, it's like when you step on a man's manhood, there's but a few things that's going to happen. Either he's going to shut down, he's not going to hear anything from you, or he's going to retreat and he just say possibly go to where he's meant to feel like a man. And a lot of times that's in the arms of another woman.
Yeah. Let me say this before. Let me say this before you go any further. If you guys want your comments to be on the top, check and see if you see the super chat, and support this channel so we can continue to do this. And whatever it is that you want to give in a super chat, then your comments come right to the top of the line, and that will really help us. All right, because Cat Lady said, I like this. Be careful with who you allow to whisper in your ear. Oh my Lord. Listen, that's a mouthful, because going back to Samantha and Tyrese said you had a whole lot of people in your ear. They're still in your ear. And then Tyrese went as far as to say your mama was the main one in your ear. That's why you did the stuff you did. You're right. Be careful. Yeah, that's what he said. Be careful who you got whispering in your ears. Okay, when people are not pro-marriage. Because another thing, and this is what Samantha said, which was unbelievable, but she said you need pro-marriage, people who are pro-marriage in your ears, in your corner. People that are going to fight for both of you to say, both of you work it out. It's not as bad as it seems. It can't get better than this. Not only that, he said you need a person on your side to say, look at him. He's a good man. This is what he's doing for you. Consider these things, and vice versa. Somebody on his side says she's a good woman. Give her a chance. Look at her qualities. See, you need people on both sides to fight with you for your marriage. Now people say, "Oh yeah, child, please forget him. He's trifling. He ain't no good." Da 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 da. And that's what you get. And just like you had said earlier, Derek, be careful about talking to quote unquote girlfriends. Your girlfriends don't have your best interests at heart. For the most part, they want you to suffer just like they're suffering, and they're happy to tell you, leave your man.
And sometimes that same girlfriend that's in your ear, the one that after you break up is going after your man. Because number one, you had too much of your business in her ear. So now she know what to do to get your man. She got you by the picture, and she got your man.
Watch this. I'm glad you said that. I got a friend. Okay, no names. I got a friend called me last week and told me that her and her husband were having problems. Right? Got a so-called friend who she tells everything that's going on. The friend introduced her to somebody. Now, when she realized that the relationship with the person that she introduced her to is going well, she started threatening her that she's going to tell the husband. Now, the fact is, I didn't agree with the fact that you're married and you're married and you're out there dating and whatever. But you see, just like Kat said, you got to be careful who you allow to whisper in your ear, because the girl whispered in her ear and said, "Hey, I got somebody for you, and she went along with it. And on top of that, watch this, the girl turned around and actually called the husband and told the husband, "Hey, I know what your wife is doing. This is supposed to be a friend." So you have to
probably want the husband.
You never know. You never know. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things that can come out of all this type of mix up, because we don't actually want to do what's right. Look, like I said earlier, people can be so immature that men can be so immature that, listen, they want every skirt that they see, every skirt that moves, they want to run behind it. You understand? They don't grow up. They think that sex is the ultimate. Sex is the ultimate. The more sex that they get is the more sex they want. And so everything they think look good, they feel like, I'm gonna nail it to the wall. I must have it. That's immaturity. Then you got some men who think that, oh, I'm all of that. I can have as many women as I want. You see what I'm saying? The mentality is there's so many women out there, so if I have 2 or 3, what's the big deal? It's okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
You know what?
It's crazy.
What come to my mind right now, one of our elders, and I love her dearly, and thank God for her life. But this is not for everybody, but for those who you stick in the honor God, the late Rosie Paris would say, go get yourself up under that bed and pray and seek God and know wait till you hear from God and know that you heard from God. Because you're looking for a mighty bit of trouble if you don't know what you're doing. Or if you have not heard from God.
Listen,
but in that bed and pray.
We can talk to that. You know what I'm saying? We can talk to that. Both of us can talk to it because we've been there. And that's so true. Mm-hmm. You know, you listen, it look, if it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it smells like a duck, it's a duck. But a lot of times we say, no, it's okay. You know, what you see, you feel like what you see you didn't see. And she gonna change, or he gonna change. I'm sorry for you. You better pay attention to what you see, because guess what? It ain't gonna change, it's gonna get worse. And that's the thing that's gonna either make or break the relationship. And more times than not, it's gonna break it. All them bad habits and all them things that you know that you can't live with, it's only because now both of you live together. Now it's gonna even get worse. I'm telling you right now. Okay, so we have got to be careful. When you see red flags, you have got to pay attention to red flags. Don't ever ignore red flags. Yeah, I don't care how pretty she is. Do not allow her beauty to offend or to override your common sense.
See what happens when you allow your emotions and your feelings to get involved before even knowing who that person is. So now that you're in your emotions and your feelings, you see the red flags, but you're not paying any mind over it because your emotions is overriding everything.
Exactly.
In most cases, when you look in hindsight, you will always be able to say that the red flags were there, but you ignored it.
Hey, Kat, I got to get you on live one of these days, because listen, you are just, you're punching, I think you're punching above your weight, honey, you know, because you just hit with some good comments. You know, I like what you said. The problem is too many people pray, but don't wait until they hear from God. And you know what? Let me, you know, it's like I'm in church. I got to put my hand up. I got to put my hand up for real. You are absolutely right. I don't really want to put, my stuff out there. But I prayed and I did hear from God. God didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. He told me the opposite. But I went on with it. And I'm not gonna say no more. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, one of the things, I'm glad you said that, because one of the things that we do, we make the choice and then we expect God to go along with it. That's what we do. Yeah. We make the choice and expect him to go along with the choice that we make. And then when it don't work out, now we want to run. Or you say, well, God, why did you allow me?
Right. Be on the judgment day, like Adam. See, God, this woman you allowed me to marry, but that ain't gonna be no excuse on judgment day.
Yeah, but the thing about it,
did you wait for an answer?
Yeah. Hey, it's serious though. It's serious though. We pray and listen. I know that we're getting off the topic, but hey, let's be real though. Everybody in church ain't there for the same reason. So because because she's there and you're looking for a good woman, a wife, you think, well, she's a good woman. Hello, somebody. We can talk about that.
You may think you got a sheep and you got a.
Yeah, you know my bishop in London says. He says, when you think you're marrying a wife, you get a knife.
What you're talking about?
Yeah. You think you're getting a wife, you get a knife. You know, and then now you know, now you want to fast and pray.
Now.
Yeah. Now you want to fast and pray.
Now you're holy.
And then because your relationship is going south. Everything is going down the drain. And now you want to fast and pray, but when you should have been fasting and praying and really using your eyes and your common sense and asking God for wisdom and also discernment, you didn't do that. You see what I'm saying?
Now you got a mighty burning desire.
Yeah. Ooh. Hey, you see Cat's comment? You see Cat's comment? What'd she say? With that last comment right there.
No, I ain't say it. I'm not on the Facebook side.
Okay. She says, we be like, okay, God, co-sign my plan.
See? It's twisted. It's twisted.
You know what?
Twisted. Very much so. They don't bump their head, flip and bump their head on something. I don't know what it was.
Hey, Cat, you killing me. I'm telling you, you killing me. Co-sign my plan. And for real, that's what we do. We choose the woman, and then we want God to go along with it. No, very well, there's about 20 red flags. We want to ignore all them red flags because she pretty. Or she gorgeous, and all that other stuff. And know very well that being pretty is not going to make the relationship work. Now, somebody said that love is not enough to make a relationship work. You would think that love is enough. Tina Turner said, what love got to do with it?
But you gotta look at who's the person, because there's vernacular when people talk about love, they talk about a feeling. And if the feeling, yes, more than a feeling for relationship growth. Yeah.
You need work.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things, like I said, there has to be a plan for a marriage. A marriage has to have a plan. If the man doesn't have a plan for his marriage, it's not going to work. If his plan for marriage is just because she's pretty and he is looking for somebody to keep his bed warm and he's thinking about that sex, listen, it ain't going to work, because sex is not going to make that marriage work. And no matter how much you say you love the person, it's not going to make it work. You have to have a plan, a workable plan that you sit down and say, this is the plan I have for this family. This is the plan I have for this marriage. Listen, and she has to be able to see that it's going somewhere.
And also, I want to say something. This may not, I know a lot of people do not agree with me on this.
Go ahead.
I'm standing flat foot on this, is that the institution of marriage was instituted by a holy God. It is we call it holy matrimony. To be for holy people that have been separated, set apart by God, for God. So if you're not living holy, I don't expect you to have your special marriage. We're submitted to God. The two of us come together, then that means that God is the common denominator. So that means no matter what goes on, we're going through the source, to God, for guidance. And you can't go wrong with that. It's when we don't go there, when we leave our own understanding, our own devices, that we go astray, go wrong.
And the unfortunate thing, though, too many people in church do that. That's one of the biggest problems. When the church should be really an example to as to how relationships and marriages are supposed to work, it's not anymore. There was a time when men would say, hey, I'm looking for a good woman. I'm going to church to find a good woman. Now you go to church, you're not going to find what you're looking for. You understand me? In some cases you do.
Remember the world is coming into the church to find a good mate. So just because they're in church don't mean that they're suitable. You gotta do some examination. Because one of the most neglected gifts in the body today is discernment. We're not discerning the truth in the individual.
Yeah, listen, Cat Lady said something. I know you can't see her stuff, but she said this: being pretty does not make a good relationship work, but it helps, or it helps make nice Facebook posts.
What you talking about, Cat? You can come on this panel. Bring her now.
Look. when you hear from me, Cat, when you hear from me, that's because I need you on here. All right, we can do a 3-panel thing. Next one. All right, I'm dead serious, Cat. Don't forget I told you. All right, I'm gonna be getting in contact with you. We got to do this because this is sweet. Because you're right. When you have a handsome man or a good-looking man and a good-looking woman, everybody, they look so nice together. That don't mean it's gonna work though. They may look nice together. They look like a sweet couple. Okay. But when the cameras stop rolling and you're behind closed doors,
and you walk around with shit, you got black eye. But nobody see that part because you put all the makeup over it. And
yeah,
look
on
nice,
a serious
look
note.
cute.
On a serious note, because what time is it? All right, we gonna try because it's 9:31, right? We're gonna have to try to end this. Maybe we'll go to 10 and then we record because we've been on there for a while. But this is good stuff. A Cat says I'm a woman of few words. I know that, Cat. But your post is just unbelievable. You just hitting it. You're hitting it tonight. You always do because you always put some thought-provoking stuff, make people think, and I like that about you. But let me tell you, man, we really have to figure out what is causing, again, our relationships not to work. And like she said, pretty face is not good enough. It's not enough to make it work. And the problem that we have, that people are not getting back to what is the foundation of these relationships and of marriage. We mentioned a few things. One of the things is that, just like you said earlier, Derek, is that the older ladies, because the Bible admonishes the older ladies to teach the younger ones how to love their husbands and how to take care of their family. They're not doing that today, I'm sorry. Everybody, quote unquote, minding their own business. Okay? Women are supposed to disciple women so the younger women know what marriage is all about and how to do a woman's work where marriage is concerned. And the men are supposed to be discipling men to show them, listen, bro, you can't be hanging out in the streets with your boys and you're a married man. You understand me? You can't be out there running skirts and you're a married man. Okay? You can't be hanging on the corner and not working and you're a married man. You're supposed to be providing for your family. You're supposed to be doing the right thing. You are a married man. Those are the things that we're supposed to do. Those things are broken down, so everybody doing their own thing. And everybody, quote unquote, minding their own business. You see what I'm saying?
We have to get back to cultivating a village mentality. Even for a single male, when you see a woman, when she's single or widow or whatever the case may be, she has children, she has young male children, we're to pour into them. These young men, at the same time as we're older, pour into our younger brothers and teaching them, because we have a society where we're seeing the fruit of men that have not been mentored and not been taught what it is to be a man. But yet they're fathering children. So they can't do what they have not been taught.
Exactly.
So the fostering, the big brother, the mentoring. This is vital and it's important. And we need to reestablish these structures within our villages. We are our brother and our sister's keeper. Not just only going by and not opening our mouths. We can't afford to be silent. Look at what's happening. We can't afford to be silent.
And that's true. That's absolutely true. Because again, I go back to the fact that so many of them out there have all these baby mamas. Because they haven't been taught. They're still young, still acting like some little young bucks that don't have no common sense. You're taking the young women, you're spoiling them, you're giving them all babies, you're blocking them from somebody else marrying them. Because your intention is not to marry them. Your intention is just to lay down with them, okay? Get what's sweet. Because some of these men lay down with the women and turn around and say, hey, they ain't mine. Oh, it wasn't me. You know that. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to take care of their responsibility. Why are you going to lay down with the Pookies and the Ray Rays? That's what I want to know. Don't you see what's happening? Don't you see that these guys have nothing to offer?
But then you got to go back to what are you holding as a person's worth? Many don't hold themselves. You know what I mean? It has to be their self-inventory. Again, learning who you are. You know, your worth as an individual. You know, you deserve better. But when these isn't instilled, and the bar is brought down low as to what they would accept. But anybody. So when you have the bar high, you know what I mean? That person has to meet at this level or higher. If they're not there, I'm moving on. You know, if you as a man or woman know who you are, that helps you to understand, okay, the caliber you need in your life. So if you don't meet up to that caliber, then I'm keeping it moving. And I'm not talking about on a superficial level. You know, like people look at superficial things, not look at that, but in terms of the reality of can we grow? The Bible says, how can two work together except they agree?
Agree. Exactly.
So if my mind is on, okay, I'm on outreach, doing outreach, I'm in the community, I may be traveling, doing, you know, with missionaries. But if your mind is being a social diva, that's going to work because you don't have a time to at least pray for me for the ministry. Because your mind is on your posts and stuff is on the social media. Whatever it is that you do, that. So we got to be on the same page.
But we know that in this world today, people are not, a lot of people don't consider the things of God. They don't, you know, a lot of people are here, they're not Christians. They live life the way how society is. They're doing what's normal, what's natural for society. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about this stuff and we talk about biblical things and we look at marriage from a biblical standpoint, we look at relationships from a biblical standpoint, they got a problem with it. You know?
But even and they don't realize that. Even if we're not taking it biblical, I mean, it's common sense. If I know that I'm building a career and broadcasting that's going to cause me to travel all around the world, so I don't need a mate that's not going to be okay with that. Number one, she may not have to be traveling, but at least be supportive and not nagging. Every time you turn around, you're traveling and traveling. But this is my career. When you know this is my career.
But then you have to balance it. You have to figure out a way to balance it because you know that in recent times, I'm not going to say yesterday but you remember when what's his name, Evangelist Benny Hinn almost got divorced because his wife said he's never home, he's never around. You remember that because he's traveling, doing crusades and whatever all over the world. And you figure, well, they've been together for so long and she should know by now this is what he does. And he said he had to reevaluate ministry because his ministry starts at home. And even if this is what you do, when you bring a woman into your life, then you got to reevaluate and say to yourself, okay, how do I balance this out so that it doesn't hurt my relationship at home?
True.
Now, Sarita says, that's why it is important to find a helpmate that will turn to God and not to other men or women when things go rough. All right, girl, you go ahead, preach it. And that's a fact. That is a fact. You have to find a helpmate. And I'm glad you said that because that's what a man is supposed to be looking for, a helpmate. You know what I'm saying? Not just a partner, but a helpmate.
But the bottom line is you want someone that you both there for each other. You have each other's back. You know, so regardless of what's going on, what she's doing, you know, with her life, you need to know that her husband's there, praying for her, he's encouraging her, and vice versa. You know, what I'm doing in my life. It's like if you're not doing the same thing, you don't have to do the same thing. If you are, but being encouragement, having each other's back. You know what I mean? Through it all. That's the thing. It encourages you knowing that someone's in your corner. Now, when you marry and your partner doesn't have your back, that's the worst thing to be married and then you're feeling like you're alone. Then you have to know, why am I married?
Okay,
and that's
I'm glad you said that. I'm absolutely glad you said it, because this is where sometimes things get crazy. When you marry, you know that they say when you marry, you're supposed to get somebody that compliments you. And many times we end up marrying a person because of good looks or whatever, and there's nothing about them that compliments you and what you do and who you are. So then now you struggle, because guess what? She's not going to support you. There's nothing complimentary. She will not support you. She's going to be doing her own stuff. That's a problem right there. So we got to figure out, like I said earlier, when we go to choose, you have to choose wisely. Stop looking for women that are sexy and gorgeous and all the other stuff. Every man loves to have a pretty woman. That's a fact. But you have to look for a woman that, like I said, a Proverbs 31 woman, and a woman that is going to be a helpmate. Okay?
I just had something there. And this is probably going to be a whole nother discussion. It comes to some of the area of the church. You're talking about somebody finding somebody that's sexy. Some of the church looking sexy.
Oh Lord!
What kind of spirit is that? It's like sometimes you can't even focus on worship because all of sexy.
I've seen that. I've seen
some videos. I'm just saying.
Hey, you digging? Listen, man, you can't be digging up those what you call them anthills and getting that stuff started. Because that's a whole different ballgame. But I've seen that though. Sarita says something. She says she absolutely agrees with you. He said you need to be on the same page. You got to find someone who's on the same page with you. If you don't, again, you're going to have problems. And to what you just said, there is no standard anymore as to how you come into the house of God. You got people who dress however they feel like dressing. I'm my own woman. I'm an independent woman. Nobody tells me what to do. I go to church, I dress however I want. They'll tell you that. But they don't realize that there is a certain level of reverence you're supposed to have. And there's a certain level of I'm trying to see, pride that you should have in the way that you look. And you're not supposed to be coming in there overly flirtatious or flirtatious. Not flirtatious.
Remember,
flirtatious.
Remember back in the day, we used to encourage our young people, the girls to look pretty and the young men to be handsome. Now we're encouraging our kids to be sexy. What's this? Why are we opening up this door before it's time with kids? Little kids.
And that's the truth.
Not pretty, not handsome, but sexy.
Okay, here's this. Remember there was a time, we young, we might look old, but there was a time when young women were taught how to be women. They were taught how to dress. They were taught how to walk. What they call that? Finishing schools. They went to finishing schools way back when they taught them how to carry themselves, decorum, all that stuff. You see what I'm saying? Now they don't teach them that. So the young women feel like they can do and say whatever they want. They could be as masculine as they want. They don't know how to be feminine. They used to teach them not only how to cook and how to set a table. Matter of fact, they used to make them walk a certain way with books on top of their heads, and they had to walk a certain way, and the books should not fall because they're showing them how to be ladylike, how to have poise. You understand? Now these women don't. These young women don't know that. And then teach a young man, just like we were saying, teach a young man how to be responsible men. That's what we're missing.
Remember back in the day when we get together for group pictures? When people get together for group pictures today, why do we put our backs to the cameras? I'm trying to figure that out a little bit.
Well, I asked myself to say, and it's not. Listen, let's be honest. Let's put it out there. Okay, these young women want to show off their backside, so they twist their behind to the camera. What? Just like you said. So wait, so hold up. I don't want to see your backside. I want to see your face. And then when the men talk to you because of your backside, then you wonder why. Oh, he not. You need to see my intelligence. Well, I'm seeing your intelligence. That it seems like it's in the back.
I mean, our women are beautiful, and all that. But it may not be everybody, but to in general, and men, we like when women are. The word. Women used to dress classy. You still would see the beauty in them and their whatever they should, without them showing you everything, because there's some things I think that should be left that only I'm going to see as your husband, and that the world is seeing everything that I'm seeing. And I ain't saying cover yourself up with a sackcloth, but you know what I mean. It's the way that women would dress modest. You still would see the beauty of their shapes and all that kind of stuff without it being. I don't know. It's a different page today. That's just another segment. I just,
like I said, man, we got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. We're not going to do it tonight. We're gonna probably go to 10 o'clock and call it quits. But you just right. What you said, I was about to say. Listen, I'm not saying that you have to wear cover up and be like a Muslim woman and wear a burqa. Cover everything up. I'm not saying that. But just like you said, you could dress modestly, look real nice. Okay, you have to have that respect for yourself. And just like you said, it should be for your husband. But again, those values are not being taught anymore. Everybody wants to have a boyfriend and a girlfriend. For what? You're too young to court for marriage. So what you need a boyfriend and girlfriend for? Then you end up in bed because now everybody want to sleep with each other. And before you know it, then you got some little rugrats running around. So what you need that for?
Again, it's about that feeling. You want to feel good down there.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Don't you start.
Everybody's living for today.
Yeah, that's true.
That's priority.
Yeah. You're right. Everybody want to feel good down there. And then get themselves in trouble.
Yeah. Forget the quality of the relationship. Forget what you both can build together. In life. You bypass all that just for a feeling.
And that's
yourself out of so much more of life.
Yeah. And you know what the strangest part is? I've seen a lot of young women grow up in church. And it really surprised me that they're out there just like everybody else, doing exactly what everybody else is doing. And for the life of me, I can't figure it out. I knew they grew up in church. Some of them I know their mothers and whatever. And I'm like, what happened? What happened? It's like nothing that was taught there got into their, it got into their heads, but not into their hearts. Put it that way. Because they're out there living the same life, just like everybody else. No difference.
Because of the fact that just because someone grew up in the church or their parents or so forth, it doesn't mean that they got it. Sometimes they get it later in life. Now, this example that you brought up, someone outside of the church or from the world would see this and be like, oh, wow, see, this is why I don't go to church, this is what church is, but not realizing, though this person grew up in church, but they haven't committed to the things of God. So that's why you see them living like somebody who's not in church, but they're not representation of the church. But those outside the church hold that as an excuse, saying, oh, they're just like me. So why should I go to church? But there's a difference. Everyone in church is not really seeking God or living for God. I'm not committed to God. But yet those who aren't living for God are being viewed as the reason for others why they're not going to church, because they think that they're in church and they're of God when they're not.
Yeah, and that's why
people are coming to church thinking they get. It's back in the day, the brother would say, I'm going to get me a church girl. without realizing, you better watch out, bro. You're a certain girl, but is she in love with God? Exactly. Married, there ain't no God in her.
You got that right. You got that right. You know? Yeah, Kat was saying, Kat just said, with all due respect, things happen in church too. Not every closed door in church is a prayer closet. Lord have mercy. So they ain't praying, they're doing something else. You know, they're not praying, they're doing something else. Listen, a friend of mine said to me, right? That
unholy hands.
Wait, hold on. Unholy hands. Watch this. Okay, it's this a light moment, but a friend of mine says to me, this lady told her daughter, when the men try to touch her, say don't, and tell them to stop. But when the men came and they touched her in certain places, she said, don't stop. Don't stop. So she ended up pregnant. She said, but Mom, you told me to tell him, don't stop. But hey, that's just a light moment. But on a serious note, this is what you know what's funny? I said that, but this is what we get. Because one of the things is that we really don't do a good job, some of us, in really teaching our children, showing them the faith, living out the faith before them, and really teaching them. You know, the Jehovah's Witnesses do an excellent job in indoctrinating their kids. I believe the Seventh-day Adventist does the same thing too. There's so many people out there really good at indoctrinating their kids, to the point where they don't, for the most part, don't let go of what they've been taught. But unfortunately, in our churches, in the Pentecostal, in the Baptist church, in the Church of God in Christ, we find that more times than not, our kids go. And I think a lot of times they don't even know what they believe, especially when they get to college and they're getting bombarded with these professors and different people, or putting stuff in their heads, or challenging them about the faith. They don't understand it. So now they're on shaky ground. Before you know it, they fall off the bandwagon, because now they're putting questions to them that they don't have answers to.
We got to build them up from young.
And so I had gotten my daughter a book talking about the faith, the principles of the faith, and the foundations of the faith. And I gave it to her and I said, I need you to study that. I need you to read that and understand it, so that when the questions come, you know what the answers are. You yourself will know what it's all about. You understand? Because I don't believe we're really doing a good job, not only living it, but really letting them understand what this is all about. It's not a fairy tale. This thing is real. And we need to start teaching it to them from beginning, from their little, all the way up. Not just sending them to Sunday school. We're really sitting down with them and going through the scriptures and explaining and teaching them what these things mean. And I think that's the only way that we're going to start combating some of the stuff that's happening, where our young women are getting out there and getting caught up. You understand me? Because more times than not, man, when young women in church start dating and they start seeing somebody outside, before you know it, boom, they get pregnant. They get pregnant before you know it, because it seems like it's somehow they don't know how to hold out, But anyway, that's for.
It goes back to the influences of our society today. Where our society is very sexual, all in your face. From the advertisements to the commercials to TV to the movies. You can't go too far without seeing sexuality pushed in your face. It was a time it wasn't like that, but we're in a society where this is it. This is what it is.
It is.
So if you're not up to the expensive in your mind to carry through this, it's a battlefield.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. But hey, even with all the challenges tonight, it's been good. Cat Lady really came in and gave some real good points. Also, Sarita, and I wish more people was in there and taking part and stuff. And Charles came in at one point and made a statement. So I thank everybody who made statements. And but like I said, for next week, we are going to, if I don't change it, that is, Derek, let me know if there are any other topics that might be relevant. And Kat, you could let me know. You can text me. Let me know if you got anything we should talk about. But for next week, it's going to be, why do women fight other women over men? Why do they fight with each other? Why do you fight another woman and your man is trying to talk to this woman? Why you don't deal with your man? Why you fighting the woman? Why you know what I'm saying? Why you gonna text her? Why you gonna call her? And all this stuff. I find that to be a problem. Me personally, let me tell you, I would have to cut somebody off. And that's just me. But if I'm doing the foolishness, talk to me. She ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Brothers, we got some brothers doing the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, which is crazy. She going out there talking to whoever, but you don't want to deal with her. You want to go threaten him. If she don't love you, even if you get rid of him, that's not gonna make her love you. And if it's not him, it's gonna be somebody else. You see what I'm saying? And they don't seem to get it in their head.
Again,
like the song says, like the song says, put a ring on it. There ain't no ring on it, so hey, she feels like she can play the field. But anyway, that's a different case.
You can put the ring on it, some still play the field.
Yeah. You put the ring on it for whatever, they stick around for whatever the reason is, but still be doing. We said that earlier. Still be doing what they do.
Because some people, they're more attracted to people because of the ring. I don't know.
Yeah, the funny part about that, like you said, but we're gonna wrap it up. But yes, some women would prefer to mess around with married men. Hey, we got jot that down. That's another topic. Why do some women mess around with married men? Only married men. I got some thoughts on that too.
I'm gonna tell you because he always got to go home.
I was just about to say that. He ain't staying. He got to go home. So because he's not gonna stay and he got to go home, hey, I could deal with that. I could do what I want because he ain't staying here. He got his house and his wife and whatever else. He got to go over there. He could come and get whatever, but he got to go. So yeah. But again, man, I thank everybody, and I know other people are gonna be watching this later on. Please support the channel. Whatever you can. Let's try to build this community and get it better. Okay. We are trying to see how fast we can really build this channel up and talk about relationships. So everybody can come in and give their 2 cents worth of whatever it is, and let's talk. Let's discuss this thing. Why are relationships failing today? Why is it that we cannot build good marriages that will last? Marriages are not lasting. Okay, that's why I'm here. That's what the channel is all about. Relationship, anything to do with relationship, we can talk about it. All right, so please support the channel in any way possible. Especially your financial gifts. Let's build this up. All right, we're gonna try to be back again next week, same time, 8 o'clock. The time goes back tonight. Don't forget, if you're on this side of town, okay, the time goes back. I think 1 hour, don't it, Derek? It goes. Yeah, it goes back. So don't forget, guys. You gotta change your clocks tonight. So we're gonna try to do it again. It's 10 o'clock. We gotta go. We're gonna try to do it again next week. Again, why do women fight other women over men? Unless we change the topic that's what's going to be. Hey, Derek, thanks for having you. Kat, thanks for joining in. I appreciate that. And Lady Sashi and everybody else who came in, hey, thanks again. And we'll see you guys, next week, God's willing. Take care of yourself. All right. And have a good week. All right. We'll talk.
Good night.
All right. You give your passing words if you want. If you got something that you want to say, go ahead, Derek, and then we'll wrap it up.
Just want to encourage everybody. Have a good evening. Love yourself. Always seek to grow within yourself and not depend on anyone to. I'm not trying to go on the topic, but just love yourself, because sometimes we live for other people. Live for who you are. And I believe God brings to you that appreciates who you are, not you making yourself something because you know that this is what the person wants. Because then you're not being true to yourself.
Wow.
So the bottom line, I'm just saying, be true to you. Love you.
All right. Hey, Kat, good night. Everybody, good night. We'll talk later. That's another topic for another time. All right. Like he said, love yourself. We'll see you guys later. Take care. And, that's it for us tonight. And God bless you guys.
God bless.